Now we're ready to graph linear inequalities. So let's start with a basic linear inequality, something like y is less than or equal to 4x. First thing I like to do is generate a table where I can figure out some of the points that would sit on this line. So I'm going to have an x column and a y column. I'm sure you've done these quite a bit in your other classes. And I'm going to choose x values that are really easy to graph, meaning that they're quite close to the origin. I'm going to choose the values -1, 0, and 1 for x. Since I'm going to be working with my inequality 3 times, 1 for each x value, I'm going to write my inequality out 3 times so that it'll save me a little bit of work here in a minute. So I'll just write this 3 times. And in this first one, I'm going to let x equal -1. The second time, I'm going to let x equal 0. And this last time, I'm going to let x equal 1. Sorry, ran out of space. In fact, let's just kind of fix this up a little bit. Need to have it so we can read it here. Okay, so we'll just move our table up a little bit. All right, so divide those up. On our first example here, we have y is less than or equal to 4 times the x value, and the x value we're working with is -1. So we have y is less than or equal to 4 times a -1 is a -4. This means that when x is a -1, y is a -4. So let's go ahead and fill in our chart to the right. When x is -1, y is a -4. Let's move on to our next example. We have y is less than or equal to 4 times x. In this case, our x value is 0. So we have y is less than or equal to 4 times 0, which is 0. So when x is 0, y is also 0. Fill in our chart. And our last one, we have y is less than or equal to 4 times x. This time x is a +1. So we have y is less than or equal to 4 times 1, which is 4. Meaning that when x is 1, y is 4. We can fill in our chart. So this chart right here holds the points that we are going to put on our coordinate grid in order to graph our inequality. So let's go ahead and move this over a little bit, and we'll bring in our coordinate grid so that we can graph these out. So let's start with our first point right here. When x is -1, y is a -4. So when x is -1, y is a -4. Point is about right there. Our next point, when x is 0, y is 0. Be about there.